Good morning. Here's the council video update following the Monday, February 23rd meeting. I know I missed the last one, sorry, too busy, but I'll touch on a couple of things that actually happened in that meeting a couple of weeks ago as well. But as for yesterday, the first thing we had was a delegation that came forward from the High River Counselling Centre, and Thalia and Kate came just to explain what's going on with the Counselling Centre, which is down on 4th Avenue there. The important thing that everybody has to understand is that we're not through this yet. And in fact, we're probably going to see a rise in how people are dealing with this disaster and the outcomes from it, because we've all been so busy in getting our homes and everything else put back together. You've been very occupied and staying busy, and now once people have a chance to sit down on a couch and just take a breath, all of this stuff, health issues, mentally, physically, those kinds of things start to pour out of you at this time. So the important thing to note is that if you're feeling a certain way, don't be ashamed to go into that counseling center. It's on 4th Avenue. You can just walk in the door. You don't have to phone or anything. Just walk in, and you can set up an appointment at that time to talk to somebody, because don't just sit at home thinking that you shouldn't be feeling this way a year and a half after this. We're all dealing with it. We're all in this together. We've all been through it, and we'll all get each other through this. And if you know a neighbor or somebody that you can tell something's going on, encourage them to go talk to somebody down at the counseling center there, because it's an excellent group of people. But the reality is this takes a long time, and we're just at that phase now where a lot of people are going to be just taking a breath, and then all of this stuff comes out now that your house and everything else is back in order, but there's still a lot of change that you've dealt with over the last year and a half. So do not hesitate to go down there and talk to somebody, or just phone over there. Great group of people. The next thing we did was looked at our 2014 fourth quarter investment report. This is just a housekeeping thing as to where our money is invested and the wicked interest rate we get on it, etc. But that's an easy one. We did a textual amendment to our off-site levy bylaw, and these are the fees that developers pay when they're doing developments and they're tying into town services. What we found with the way the berms and dikes are constructed, as well as a few other areas, the other one being up with the Canadian Tire development that's coming in, we have to have a little bit more flexibility in dealing with off-site levies to these developers, because it's not really fair right now for them to be, such as Canadian Tire, to be paying the full shot of everything when the other property owner there has no desire to develop at this point in time. So we've got to be able to have some flexibility. That's all this was. They still have to pay their off-site levies, etc. There's no change in that. The other one that we did was rescinding a couple of bylaws. One was the bylaw that established a Director of Legislative and Administrative Services. This position does not exist anymore in the town of High River, so that's just cleaning that one up and getting rid of it. And the other one is a bylaw where the town council establishes the Director of Corporate Services. The position still exists. It's just our CAO, James, does not need council's permission to appoint this position, which I completely agree with. That's under his jurisdiction. So this will just give the CAO the authority to post that position for Director of Corporate Services. It still exists, just a little bit more streamlined way of dealing with it. Calgary Regional Partnership membership. Council's been dealing a lot with this over the last few months in assessing whether we want to be members of the Calgary Regional Partnership and what are the benefits and to High River with being in with this group. There's two things that I'll explain. There's the Calgary Metropolitan Plan that everybody from Airdrie down to Nanton, east and west we all develop our communities around the Calgary Metropolitan Plan. High River has done this for a number of years, regardless of what the plan says. Everything just coincides. But that's the plan itself for the area. The Calgary Regional Partnership is a group of members from each of those municipalities that oversee that plan as to how that plan gets dealt with and who's doing what. And there's a voting structure. If something's happening in Rocky View, High River has a small say in that. But what our concern more is things that are happening around us, basically Calgary South, and how is that going to affect High River? The number one issue with all of this is water, of course. Water's a big, big deal in this area of the world and everywhere on Earth, but what we deal with is around here. High River has a very good water supply. We're very lucky down here, but we also have to be very, very protective of that and how it's being used and where it's going. And there's other areas around us that don't have the water that we do. We are open to sharing our water, but there's got to be a benefit to High River for that. And it all has to be done properly. So us being a part of the Calgary Regional Partnership gets us in with the group again. We're not sitting in a silo out by ourselves anymore without getting all of the information. So we're in with the group. It's much better to be in with the group than outside of it thinking you know what's going on. So that's the big piece to being members of this. So yesterday we just made the motion that we are rejoining the Calgary Regional Partnership. So the last meeting, the big one that came out of that, there was a few housekeeping things, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to bore you with some of that other stuff, but Habitat for Humanity came. They are doing a project. It's a duplex project in High River. They're having a tough time finding proper applicants. The thing you have to remember with Habitat for Humanity is this is not free housing. So, but what it is 0% down and 0% interest on the mortgage for that home. So, and it gets built for you. So there are restrictions as to who can be. If you can't afford the mortgage, then you don't fit the criteria for it. So it's an excellent opportunity for most people to get in on a program and get in on home ownership is what it is. So there's links on my Facebook page. I think there's links on the town website. You can go directly to Habitat for Humanity and get the application forms. But please do this. It's an excellent opportunity. Don't be shy. They're having a tough time getting people to apply, so if you're interested, apply. It's an excellent thing to be part of. A few other items that I'll touch base on. Downtown Phase 2, the construction that'll be starting this spring. There's drop-in information sessions on tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Memorial Center. All the drawings will be there. You can provide feedback. You can ask questions as to how the program or how the timeline is going to go. We are much better prepared for this year than we were for last. Last year we just didn't have the time to go through, and there was a lot of things we learned after last year. Last year we also took on a massive amount because we had to get the infrastructure repaired. It was failing, and last thing we needed was a catastrophic failure of infrastructure downtown, which would have shut businesses down. It would have been absolutely horrible. No matter the construction that's been tough on the businesses, this would have shut them down. So we had to do it. This year we've scaled it back. We don't have to be as aggressive with the amount that we take on. So this year it's going to be 5th Ave and finishing up McLeod Trail a little bit. 5th Ave is the big one, and then 1st Street is the other big one. So there's going to be another very, very hard push for summer construction. So go down if this affects you. It affects pretty much everybody in High River. go down and get the information that you need. The people there that can answer your questions will be there. Another one, there's a policing committee open house. This is Wednesday, tomorrow night, February 25th at 7 p.m. at the Culture Center. And the policing committee is just looking for community and citizens' input as to what are their priorities for 2015 and what should the RCMP be focusing on for 2015. The other one, is there any public interest on developing a Citizens on Patrol organization? I got a lot of feedback from people on a number of issues, and I know there's a couple of little sporadic Citizen on Patrol that they've fired up on their own. But this would be a more structured one, and I think it's a great idea. The more involvement that all our citizens can have in what's going on around them, I think is very important. So the policing committee is doing an excellent job of just wanting your feedback, and they'll gauge their suggestions from that. So that's about it. Any other questions you have, email me, phone me, Facebook, Twitter, everything's there. So. And all your council members are also available. So thank you very much. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.